The most important thing that most people probably didn't pick up on during this Jussie Smollett situation of the charges being dropped, when the police chief and the mayor and them came out and did their press conference after the fact, they kept using the word secrecy. A lot of people probably think that's not a big deal because they're saying it was done in secrecy, but look what they're actually saying. And they kept saying him specifically being treated different, being able to do this and all this kind of stuff. You got to realize that what they're actually saying is that in secrecy, outside of the jurisdiction of the law, this situation was done. And they're obviously showing obvious disdain towards the prosecutor, which is something else that is totally unheard of. And the fact that they're showing obvious anger towards the prosecution and towards Jussie still, they're still saying he's guilty, is also something else that's a huge red flag. I don't think I've ever heard of a case ever in any state, city, or anywhere in America where the prosecution and the police department didn't have some sort of communication of a case being dropped before it actually got dropped. Because what the cops are actually saying is they had no understanding or no warning, no information prior to this case being dropped by the prosecution. And that's something that is extremely, extremely unlikely and extremely unheard of. I never heard of something like that before. And they're showing outward public disdain for the prosecution for that reason. So that also raises red flags because that seems like it's part of just a show. You know what I mean? This is part. They're just playing a part in this whole big scheme to push a certain narrative and to make it look like they're feeling like an actor. Basically, it just looks like some stuff some actors would do. But that's real highly unlikely. They kept saying this was done in secrecy. So what they're actually saying is by it being done in secrecy, what they're really actually saying is this is something that's able to happen. More than them just saying that that has been done in secrecy, it's the way that they're saying it so nonchalantly, like this is just part of what happens in America. They're actually telling you this was done in secrecy. This is done behind closed doors. Because the thing about it, this wasn't a deal that was done. They didn't come to a plea deal, a plea agreement. There wasn't any exchange of circumstances that have to be fulfilled by either side. This was is totally dropped, totally cleared, and they keep even making light of the specific term. He's being cleared. His back, everything is being totally wiped clean. And they said he has to forfeit the $10,000 for the bail, which is something else that is really weird. Because if I'm understanding what they're saying is that he can't get his bail money back, but you always get your bail money back, whether you get convicted, not guilty, whatever the outcome of your crime is, you get the bail money back as long as you go to court. I mean, if you go through pretrial services or a bail bondsman, they're going to keep their share or whatever and stuff like that, of course. Or whatever it actually costs you to be able to put the bail money up. But whatever bail is left, you're supposed to get that back. So I don't understand how if he's being so cleared, they're saying that they're keeping his bail money, if I'm not mistaken. So that sounds a little fishy. But the situation is you got to realize this is like a show. You know what I'm saying? I put a video up before talking about how he may be being framed. There's a chance that Jussie Smollett actually was just set up just now and had no idea of the whole thing that happened around him with them coming at him. Maybe he believed everything. Maybe what he said was the truth in his mind. Or maybe he was being tortured or threatened behind the scenes. You don't know what the real situation might be. Or maybe he's just simply in on it too. You know what I'm saying? In on this whole thing. But like I said in the beginning, the most weird thing that you need to pay attention here is that the cops are sitting there saying something was done in secrecy and also surrendering the authority to allow something to be said that it's just done in secrecy so passively. You understand? Like, maybe I don't know if I'm explaining it right or not, but basically saying now that this is a thing. And they specifically said because he's a superstar entertainer and stuff like that, his laws don't apply to it. So they're actually telling you this stuff, which is something that, even though we all know this is something that's not ever admitted to by a authority, you know what I'm saying, by a police department or something like that. And they're even going so far as to say they got beef with the prosecution because they weren't aware of the new developments or whatever was going on in the case. This whole thing It just doesn't make no sense. At the very least, this is a psyop. That's already obvious. This was a psyop of some sort, some kind of experiment. But even more than that, it's deeper than that. The whole satanic holiday thing means something. The gematria that's associated with this means something. I did a video about it. I put the link on here. You can see that. Other people, I'm sure, did it.